What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, this week we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the past week. If you enjoy the Scale News Update regularly, hit the like button. Let's jump into this week's topics. First for this week, another new release from Axial, and again, in the 10th scale world. Everybody rejoice. This is kind of new, kind of not, kind of new. This is a new SCX10 III Builder's Kit. We have had SCX10 III Builder's Kits before. Previously, it was called the Basecamp Builder's Kit, although it didn't have anything Basecamp related on it. This time they have fixed their blunder in the naming convention, and it's just called the Builder's Kit. In this, we do see some updates that were previously seen on things like the Coyote, the RTR Coyote version. So it's got the new slider style. It has high clearance rear lower links. It's got parts of the Coyote clipless body mounting system also included in this builder's kit, which is a little weird just because they are so specific to that body design, yet are included in a kind of universal builder's kit. So a little bit odd there. As is traditional with builder's kits, no body, no wheels or tires are included with this, as well as no electronics. Pretty standard as far as that type of thing goes, but just a new release from Axial on this side to kind of update that particular product line with something that's a little bit more up to date with, you know, some of their other items. I did get one of these and was working on a live build on it last Friday. I did notice that this is definitely a new style of like instruction manual and kit bagging compared to any of the Axial kits that I've built in the past. Definitely different in a number of ways. So if you are familiar with building Axial kits, this is going to be, like I mentioned, a departure from that for sure. So if you're interested in this thing's $269, and you can find it available on both AMain and Horizon currently, and I'll put links to both of those places down in the description below, as well as links to the rest of this week's stories. Last week, DSM Off-Road offered up a bunch of new parts for the Axial SR5 Toyota that was recently released as well. DSM has jumped on board and they've made a number of detail pieces for the rear of the truck. Since that SR5 Toyota had a kind of tube bed structure, it offered itself up a number of different ways that you could put accessories in the back. DSM has come up with a number of items for the bed, like a diamond plate style cover, jerry can mount, spare tire mount, a bunch of different ways that you can customize that, and you can purchase separately, both from them 3D printed already, as well as you can usually get 3D print files from DSM in case you want to 3D print those yourself. They also have some new parts that are not related to the bed, such as front inner fenders to try and close it out and make that body look a little bit more scale. So if you're interested in any of those items or any of other DSM's other items, you can check out their website. I'll put a link down below to take you to all of the parts they're offering for that SR5. A couple of weeks back, we saw a preview from Holmes Hobbies for their two new BECs, and they are now available on the website. There is a pro version as well as a team version, and it just depends on which way you plan to run these. If you're going to run the pro version, it's going to hook up into your receiver and allow you to power all of the servos run through your receiver in that way. And it also handles the wiring so that you don't have to disconnect any wires from your existing ESC. Also, it's set up in a way that it doesn't take up one of the slots in your receiver, just in case you're tight on the number of available channels. If you go with the team version, then it's going to be more of a direct power solution to a single servo. Both great options. These are preset to 8.4 volts. So one of these might be right up your alley. These are also a super lightweight option. So small, lightweight, if you got a tight build or you're just trying to be conscious of the amount of weight that you're adding into the chassis, all good reasons to take a look at these new BECs from Holmes Hobbies. Recently announced SORRCA Scale Nationals is making a return this year, July 23rd to the 26th in Cedar City, Utah. An amazing location. Actually, they've had Scale Nationals there before. I think 2014 I was there for it. But while this event is coming back, at the same time, SORRCA is under new leadership, and with that, they've also simplified the rules, made some changes that people had voiced their concern about the most in the past. So they've tried to go through, address those areas, and make the rules just more digestible in general. So if you're interested in scale competition, a great time to go take a look at the rules. Again, class 1, 2, and 3, familiar to many of you, terms that we still use up to this day, even though, not necessarily directly in conjunction with SORRCA. So worth taking a look. There is a post that kind of summarizes the rule changes so you can get a feel for it, where things have been simplified and streamlined, as well as there's a group for the actual event. So if you're interested in that, July 23rd to the 26th, Cedar City, Utah, tickets are going on sale next Thursday, which is March 28th. Not this coming Thursday, but the following. Those are going to go live at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So keep an eye on that. There's links to the rules, the group, the whole deal down in the description. Speaking of events, Proline by the Fire. We still haven't heard concrete news or dates about this event. One of the biggest events on the West Coast is in general. So it's always one of those things. Last year we heard the dates for the event early, like the very beginning of the year, almost right after the new year, we got the date information. This year, still nothing. There was an Operation 11 Charlie podcast with one of the guys from Horizon who was talking about it, and he did say that it was probable that it was going to happen, although that doesn't mean anything yet. He did say that if or when it does happen, it will likely be at the same time that it was last year, which was right at the beginning of October. He did say, though, or alluded to, that it could be getting a name change. So they could be, possibly removing the name Proline by the Fire. It might just be by the Fire, Horizon by the Fire. If and when we hear more information about the event, of course, we'll report on it. Just be nice to have some information that we can actually count on. What you can count on, though, is segues to channel membership every week, because channel membership is available for the channel. It helps support the channel a little bit extra. The channel is very important. It does. It supports the channel if you like. You also get videos early, like this video. You get the night before. Afternoon's Delight, which is like this video, but we kind of go in, it's a little more candid, and then we talk about some other stuff as well. That happens as well. Then you get other just behind the scenes videos, whatnot. If you're interested in any of that information, there's a link down in the description below with all of it. So thanks to everybody who helps support the channel. Thanks to everybody who watches any of the videos. And thanks to Beef Tubes for supporting this month of the Scale News Update. Beef Tubes is under new ownership. The new ownership's going through, cleaning things up, getting things back in order, and bringing you parts that you are familiar with. Some of the parts that made you familiar with the company from way back are coming back in stock, and new products are being developed at the same time. So whether you've got some AR60 stuff from back in the day that you're trying to make sure stays together for as long as possible, or you've got some newer rigs that you want to add some strength, there's some other option parts too. You can go check out the Beef Tubes website. Also, you can save some money with the discount code that you'll find down in the description below. They recently posted up some video of some of their parts that they're having machined right there in Montana, which is where the new headquarters for Beef Tubes is now. So go check them out, give them a follow, check out the website, see if there's anything that you need for any of your rigs. Don't forget to use that discount code. And thanks again to Beef Tubes for supporting this month of the Scale News Update. Something else you can count on is Livestream Takeover, happening every single Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Matt and I argue, sometimes talk about RC related topics, and in general, just have a good amount of fun every single week. So come join us for that, because it's always a blast. 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And if you work for an RC company and like to see any of your products on the Scale News, shoot me an email to news@harleydesigns.com. Include a photo, a description, a link to where it'll be found on your site. I'll love to take a look at that, see if we can get included here on the news. Last week, HTech released a new machined aluminum rear truggy style cage for the Vanquish Mullet. Now, the Mullet uses a slightly different chassis than the previous VRDs, so this is going to be a specific option for the S25 chassis that comes on the Mullet. But this machined rear bed cage is a fairly minimal style design, but gives you that look that can go behind the cab-only design that Mullet comes with. The price on this thing is also really reasonable. $169 for a machined cage like this seems pretty decent. For that price, you do end up with something that looks fairly premium to that. HTech also has things like aluminum CNC bumpers for the VRD that would work as well. Obviously, you wouldn't probably put it on the same end as this truggy cage, but no matter what. Lots of options for that. They also have light bars that you can add to this while you're at it. And even though HTech is international, shipping on this product is super reasonable. So go check that out. See if you like it, see if you find anything else on their site that might interest you for your next build. This week, JConcepts dropped 2 new competition-oriented crawler tires. Now, these are 1.9 tires, but they're only 4.25 inches tall. Now, they call this a sporty height to it, but again, 4.25 inches tall rather than the more typical 4.75 where you see like their ruptures and things like that. But we've got the Boss and the Rock Bumps. Both of these are a very pin style design to them both. One has a very aggressive sidewall and one has a very smooth sidewall. So if you have a preference of one over the other, it'd probably make it for a pretty easy decision on which one of these was going to be the best option for you. Both of these tires are coming in JConcepts green compound, which is just a proven compound that people have really good success with overall. So the same compound that we've seen offered in a lot of their other high performance tires. Both of these tires were just announced, but they both show out of stock currently, so I assume that they'll hit the actual inventory here before too long. So you can keep an eye out for those or back order them through your favorite retailer. Last week, HPI released a new version of the TTR Nano. This is the BMW 2002, a car that we actually saw in NERSA back in September. But nonetheless, now it's here. These little tabletop racers, which TTR stands for, are pretty solid little RCs. They're proportional, they're faster than you would think they are. They feel like a real RC car, not just a super cheap toy, but they're also not a super cheap toy. These things are like 89 bucks if you buy it with the radio and everything. Although you can buy the car only if you already have a radio and save yourself about 20 bucks. So it is nice that they do separate those out, give you both options for that. For something like that at this price point, not something you would typically expect a company to do. So nice to see HPI do that. They released these in 2 colors. One's white, one's silver. And speaking of new color, Rlaarlo released a V2 of the MK-07. That was their 1/7 scale, not a Jeep, rock crawler. These are available in 3 new colors, but that isn't the only difference with these. Now, it's now coming in purple, black, and gray as far as the color schemes go, as well as a completely unique, nowhere else seen before, dinosaur themed version that you can pick up for an extra 50 bucks. But the difference between this version and the V1 that they had before comes down to some just general improvements from things that were happening to V1 owners, like side mirrors breaking off and rod ends stretching, ESCs not maybe, holding up or being exactly what they wanted. Just creature comfort upgrades on these for the most part. So just iterative to try and make these a little bit more successful compared to what they were before. This is available in both a brushed or brushless version, depending on what you're after. And depending on which one, it's about $100 difference between them. So you're gonna be like $600 to $700 for these vehicles, depending on which version you're after. And if you want the Dino Age, I think is what it's, Dinosaur Age, I think is what it says on the side of the door. Again, you're gonna pay 50 bucks extra for that. These things did have, wild light kits, 2-speed, locking, unlocking, differentials, all that type of stuff. So there's a lot of features inside of these, but worth checking out if you like that large scale. But at the same time, Rlaarlo, I think they've been improving on the customer service side of things, but a lot of growing pains have happened since the early releases of these. So something to consider while shopping, worth mentioning at least. But that's gonna do it for this week's topics. For this week's question, kind of going back to that last news story there, has there been a product that you've been considering or you considered in the past, but you really weren't sure just based on a company's history, whether it was their history of quality or their unknown nature to them, something along those lines? And if so, what was it? It doesn't have to be RC, but obviously RC has the most. And if you don't have an answer to that, what's your favorite weight shock oil? So that is going to do it for this week's news. If you enjoyed the show, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already, hit the notification bell, channel memberships available. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks again. We'll see you on the next one.